guys, we're going to review adding and subtracting fractions. Click the blue link. Okay, I'm going to go over. Now, we've done this before in second 9 weeks. I just thought it would be a good review. So you're going to do it again. I'm going to go and do 11 through 13 with you as a review. Okay. All right. So we have the visual model here just to help you see the fractions, but we have 1/8 and 3/4. So I'm going to write 1/8 plus 3/4. Okay. All right. So we can, from here, we're going to go on and set up our problem. Okay. Now, looking at 8 and 4, we know that we need a common denominator. Can 4 go into 8? That's the first question you need to ask yourself. Can 4 go into 8? Yes, it can go into 8 evenly without a remainder. So we're going to use 8 as our denominator. Okay. Now, I need to make equivalent fractions here. I need to make this fraction equal to this fraction. This fraction equal, which this one isn't a big deal because I'm using 8. So this fraction's already going to be equivalent. 8 goes into 8 one time. What I do to the bottom, I do to the top. Okay, 1 times 1 is 1. So this one, when you use the one of the denominators, the fraction, you don't have to do anything to it. Okay, but this one, I'm going to have to do something to get the numerator. So this fraction is equal to this fraction. 4 goes into 8 2 times. What I do to the bottom, I do to the top. 3 times 2 is 6. So now I just add. All I have to do now is add 1 and 6, which is going to be 7/8. That number is small enough. I do not have to reduce it. So just come back in here and write 7/8. Okay. Now on this one, we're going to do the same thing, but now this is subtracting. 3/4 minus 1/6. 3/4 minus 1/6. I'm going to set up my problem. Oops. Okay. So I'm looking at 6 and I'm looking at 4. All right. 4 will not go into 6 evenly without a remainder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my m to come up with the multiples. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 4 is 16. I'm going to stop there for now just to see if I have any common numbers. 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. So I can stop there and I have 12. Okay, so 12 is going to be my common denominator. Now, guys, if something happens and you were to just multiply 4 and 6 together, you would get 24. That is fine. That will work. You will just have to reduce a little bit more. Okay. But it would still work. So instead of trying to figure out what these have in common, if you just multiply the two denominators together, you would get 24. You're just going to have to reduce a little bit more on the end. All right, so now I need to make equivalent fractions. I need this fraction to be equal to this fraction. So to do that, I need to think, well, how many times did I multiply 4 by to get to 12? Well, that would be 3. And then what I do to the bottom, I do to the top. 3 times 3 is 9. All right, what did I do to 6 to get to 12? Well, I multiplied by 2. What I do to the bottom, I do to the top. 1 times 2 is 2. Now I just need to subtract. 9 minus 2 is 7. So my answer is going to be 7/12. And I do not have to reduce this one, okay? So I'm going to go back here and I'm going to put 7/12, okay? Now, this one's a little different. I'm going to count up and create the fraction. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So this fraction number is 4/5. This one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then it's 9. Okay. So I have, let me get a new paper. Okay. So this fraction is going to be 4/5 plus 9/10. Okay. Set up our problem. What denominator could I use? I could say 5 times 10 is 50. That's fine. It's going to be a bigger problem and you're going to have to reduce it. Or you could look and say, well, does 5 go into 10 evenly? Always look at the smaller one, the smaller denominator, and see if it'll go into the bigger one. And yeah, 5 will go into 10 evenly. So that means 10 is going to be our denominator. Again, I'm going to make equal fractions with this fraction being equal to this one, this fraction being equal to that one. I don't have to do much thinking here because it's going to be the same fraction. When you use a denominator on this side, it's going to match up right here, okay? And now I'm going to think, well, 5 times 2 will get me 10. What I do to the bottom, I do to the top. 4 times 2 is 8, okay? So I'm adding here. 8 plus 9 is 17. And then I've got my 10. I can't leave that. I need to reduce that and reduce this by taking this improper fraction and turning it into a mixed number. So I'm going to take 17 and divide it by 10. Okay, because remember, that's how we reduce this. That's how we fix it. We take this improper fraction and we're going to turn it into a mixed number. How many times will 10 go into 17? Once. 1 times 10 is 10. And that is 7. So then I build my mixed number. Whatever the answer is in the division problem, that is always our whole number. The leftover amount from the subtraction is the numerator, and then the denominator is going to be the same in the original fraction. So that is 1 7/10. All right, there you go. Now you guys just have to do 1 through 10. Bye.